Step into the world of Klara Pölzl, a woman whose life of quiet devotion and profound tragedy would shape the destiny of her son, Adolf Hitler. From her humble beginnings in a rural Austrian village to the heart-wrenching losses that defined her, Klara's story offers a unique lens into the early life of one of history's most infamous figures. Join us as we explore 12 fascinating facts about the mother behind the man, unraveling the complexities and contradictions that lay at the foundation of her family. Klara Pölzl's story begins in the quaint village of Spittal, Austria, on August 12, 1860. Born into a modest farming family, Klara's early years were steeped in the simple rhythms of rural life. Her childhood, surrounded by the rolling hills and serene landscapes of Austria, was seemingly unremarkable, a stark contrast to the storm her lineage would later unleash upon the world. As the daughter of Johann Baptist Pölzl and Johanna Hitler, Klara grew up in a family deeply rooted in the agrarian traditions of the time. Her father worked tirelessly on their farm, instilling in Klara a strong work ethic and a sense of duty that she would carry throughout her life. Little did she know that her humble origins would one day intertwine with the makings of a dictator. The twists of fate and family connections brought Klara closer to Alois Hitler, her second cousin. Their relationship, complicated by familial ties, evolved over time. When Alois's second wife, Franziska Matzelsberger, passed away, Klara, who had been working as a maid in Alois's household, became his third wife. This union, born out of necessity and proximity, set the stage for one of history's most infamous families. In 1885, Klara married Alois Hitler, marking a new chapter in her life. The marriage, while not particularly romantic, was functional and pragmatic. Klara, a dutiful wife, dedicated herself to managing the household and raising their children, embodying the era's ideals of domesticity and submission. Klara and Alois had 6 children, but only 2, Adolf and Paula, survived into adulthood. The early deaths of Gustav, Ida, Otto, and Edmund cast a pall over Klara's life, infusing it with a sorrow that only a mother who has buried her children can understand. These losses perhaps deepened her bond with Adolf, her surviving son, who would later become a pivotal figure in history. A devout Roman Catholic, Klara's faith was a cornerstone of her existence. She ensured her children, including Adolf, were raised in the Catholic tradition. The rituals and beliefs of the Church provided a comforting structure to her life, even as she faced personal tragedies and challenges. Klara's life was marked by persistent health issues. In 1907, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, a grim prognosis at a time when medical treatments were rudimentary. Her illness was a slow and painful descent, one that would profoundly affect her family, particularly young Adolf, who was deeply attached to his mother. During her illness, Klara was treated by Dr. Eduard Bloch, a Jewish physician. Dr. Bloch's compassionate care left a lasting impression on Adolf Hitler, who, despite his later vehement anti-Semitism, remembered Bloch with a peculiar sense of gratitude. This dichotomy between personal gratitude and public hatred is one of the many contradictions in Hitler's complex personality. Klara Hitler passed away on December 21, 1907, at the age of 47. Her death was a devastating blow to Adolf, who mourned her deeply. This loss, at such a formative time in his life, arguably influenced his emotional and psychological development, adding to the factors that shaped his future actions. Klara is buried in Leonding, Austria, where her grave has become a site of historical interest. The peaceful cemetery stands in stark contrast to the turbulent life of her son, offering a quiet testament to the ordinary woman behind the extraordinary legacy. As a housewife, Klara's life revolved around her family and household duties. Her days were filled with the tasks of maintaining a home and caring for her children. In this role, she exemplified the virtues of patience, diligence, and self-sacrifice, embodying the ideal of maternal devotion. Klara Pölzl's legacy is inextricably linked to her son, Adolf Hitler. While she led a life of relative obscurity, her role as his mother has drawn significant interest from historians and psychologists alike. Understanding Klara's life provides a glimpse into the early influences and familial dynamics that shaped one of history's most notorious figures. Her story, a blend of the mundane and the tragic, remains a poignant chapter in the annals of history.